Hello, welcome back to Decker Dialed. So today I'm going to do my best to somewhat quickly cover the rifle that I use for the 2026 Leupold Relentless NRL Hunter match. It's something I'm about to take a bunch of stuff off of this rifle. It's basically going to be taken almost completely apart and reparted out back to the original rifles it came off of. So I wanted to get this done beforehand, just so I don't have to go through and show everyone the bits and pieces and whatnot. So the scope and mount is, once again, a 7-35 Leupold Mk5 with a PR2 reticle. Every single optic that I purchased from this point forward, for the most part, is going to be the 5-25 with PR2. I just like the 5-25s in almost every single scope, period. I shot, 5-27 zero compromises up until this point, and I specifically wasn't buying the 8-40s, and big reason for me is the little bit of ELR that I have shot and do shoot. It's been a while. Is you get quite a bit of additional adjustment in the 5-27, 5-25 range, and they just seem to be working better overall. So I like the 5-25 by 56s. As long as it's got a 56, you're good to go. So that's that quick. I will be obviously continue to use this. This scope right here is going to be going onto my PRS rifle tomorrow. So by the time this video comes out, this will already be on its original home. So this and the Badger Ordnance ranks will be just flopping over. For the Remington 700 action and the barrel, those are going to stay on exactly the same as is. The Mountain Forged muzzle brake is coming off and will be going back onto the PRS rifle. It's going to match the new action that I just picked up, which is the Mountain Forged Pro action. It's an Impact 737. That is marked Mountain Forged and directly from them. So they're the same price as any other Impact, so why not get them? I love supporting local guys, companies, good people in the industry, and you're supporting Impact and Mountain Forged at the exact same time. So we'll get a little bit more into that later. As for the chassis is coming off. That's going back on my 300 Norma, and I mean, it might just sit there for a little while. It might not even go on the 300 Norma. They both might sit in the corner. I don't really use this chassis for a whole lot, but I got a whole lot of weights for it. Everything on the inside and outside can get bolted on, and so I can get up with the ELR class. And then the Bix and Andy trigger is coming out, and that is going into my PRS rifle. So that'll be going into the Impact Mountain Forged, and that's coming out within like an hour. So one of the things that I strive for, and obviously that's a quick breakdown of this rifle. Something else I wanted to cover is how I would build my perfect, almost perfect NRL open heavy gun. And for me, at this point in time, I will be keeping like a Leupold 525, 7-35 Mk5. Obviously, there is still the Mark IV HD series as well. I've never used one, but I know those should be pretty darn good as well. And that's just my personal preference at this time. By no means are they in the same boat as a Tangent Theta, as a Zero Compromise, but this gets the job done just fine. A lot of people beat me, and a whole lot of people won this weekend with Leupold Mk5s. So that's part of the reason why I'm using them. I want to use the crap out of them and be able to give 100% perfect, honest feedback from my perspective, going from the elite optics to the higher end of kind of the the middle class shooter world. So that will be staying on. If I were to build a rifle, I'd have a 5-25 or a little bit of autopilot, 5-25 Leupold Mk5 with a PR2 reticle. It's a very good reticle. It's great, and that would be going on top of the rifle. I will most likely be using that Impact 737 for future PRS or for future NRL. So I would throw an Impact action, Impact short action, and and be happy with that. That allows me to either shoot, obviously with a bolt change, allows me to shoot a 260, which I have, or go up to like a 6.5 PRC. I mean, obviously 25 Creed, anything else in the middle. And then we're gonna get to the barrel in a minute. The next thing is I want to at some point get a Manners LR long range hunting target chassis stock combo with, I'm probably gonna end up going with the Gray Op CNC bottom metal, so I have AW mag compatibility with those. But a huge chunk of that is going to be the weight, and the Manners are fantastic stocks slash chassis, depending on how you want to look at them. And there's a lot of people who like them, a lot of people who love them, and they shoot really well. They kind of give the same deadness, flatness, whatever people want. And from the fact you can throw in different bottom metal, you can throw in one that's AW cut. That's one of the advantages that I see over like the MDT Seaburn. Is it's also a good chassis, stock, whatever you want to call it. I shot that last year, felt good, but it stuck to AICS magazines, and I want to switch over to AW if I can, and at least have that as an option, and that's not an option with the Seaburns right now. So for me, Leupold Mk5, gonna stick with Badger Ordnance rings, and then the Manners LRHT. Bix and Andy trigger is going to be the next piece of advice. Well, obviously with an Impact 737 / Mountain Forge Pro. Same with the Mountain Forge Core. If you want to save a little bit of weight, they are a little bit lighter action. So the next thing is Bix and Andy. I shoot a single stage right now. I have a mix of single stage and 2 stages. I go back and forth. I like both of them. They both have their advantages. They both have their disadvantages. So that is super on you as an individual and what you like to do, like to use, like to shoot. But I have had fantastic performance with this Bix Pro X, Pro Sport Tac X, whatever. And with the conditions we had, obviously I didn't get a hiccup. It's still a new trigger, so I haven't had a lot of conditions in it and a lot of dust and grime. But it's been working really good for me. Super crisp, super adjustable, and lets me get down to that kind of 6 to 8 ounce range with plenty of room to spare and not have to deal with it. So obviously I'm going to keep on using Bixes. I'm starting to slowly put Bixes in everything, and so I'm just switching over from that. And so I've covered scope, chassis, trigger, action. Muzzle device is obviously 2 rules of thumbs if you want to shoot with muzzle brake. I absolutely love this Mountain Forge brake. It works out great. If you have a 5/8 by 24, I like the Mountain Forged. If you have a 3/4 inch threaded muzzle already, I'd recommend the going over Corson Piper over at Demigod Precision and getting one of his brakes. I have one of his as well. They're fantastic. They work great, and they come in 3/4 inch. If you want a 3/4 inch brake already, because you got other things for it, his are great. Even he makes a couple 5/8s now as well. It's a good alternative if you want to go with them. Salmon River Solutions makes a super lightweight titanium brake if you really, really want to hit weight. So those are kind of my 3, somewhat in that order, that I shoot and use and own. And they're all very similar for performance on things like 6 GTs and smaller cartridges. Once you start getting up to larger cartridges like the 6.5 284, 300 PRC, 6.5 PRC, whatnot, I do see a little bit of advantage to this Mountain Forged. On top of that, though, I can't say I've compared it to Corson's, because the one I have from him is 6mm. And so I have not shot that on bigger cartridges, so I cannot, lean one way or the other. As much as I want to say it's great, and I'm pretty damn sure it is, I don't have any use behind it in a larger powder capacity. So one of their brakes, go with whatever you want for weight. And then for a bipod that I don't currently have here, going back and forth, if you're trying to stay on the slower or on the lower end of budget side of things and lightweight, hit Michael Look over at PRST, I believe. Either way, it's his Dauntless bipod. If you Google Dauntless bipod, his is gonna pop up. His Dauntlesses are a little bit beefier than the Dauntless M that I have. They weigh a little bit more, but reach out beforehand, see if he still has any available with the carbon fiber 3-section legs. I shot those with my M over the weekend, and they've been pretty fantastic. So I think it's a really good upgrade that you can get, and he might still be just running them right now, and so that's an easy swap. But Dauntless M, even without the upgrade to it, is still a fantastic bipod. It's about $350, $400 to your door, works great, and you're supporting another good guy. If you're gonna go the next route, as much as I hate to say it, get one of the MDT triple pole sky pods. The newest generation of them, obviously they're still pretty light, but they're still pretty heavy at the same time. Take that however you want. But for rigidity and for, you know, lack of failures that I've seen over the weekend and just kind of the way that they're used, they still make a great bipod. They're just really expensive, and at the end of the day, I don't own one, and I've only used one a couple times. So full-size Dauntless, if you really need a hit weight, Dauntless M. And then if you're just, you know, going all out, get a triple pull, call it a day. And then for the barrel, I would go with the heaviest steel barrel that you can to still make weight. This is a 21-inch varmint contour, like proof or Sendaro contour, steel Bartlein barrel. I went with 21 inches just because 21 inches because it's a little bit more of a pseudo hunting rifle. If I was building a competition one, I would stick with 26 inches and then go from there. A lot of that is just due to stability and aiming of a rifle system. The longer barrel is going to be inherently more stable than a shorter barrel. So if I can go with a longer barrel, why not? I also like to have weight a little bit further forward because chassis love to be butt heavy. So that's my perfect rifle is a Leupold Mk5 5-25 with a PR2 Badger Ordnance rings, Manners LRHT chassis, impact action / mountain forged, Bixen Andy trigger, good barrel manufacturer, Bartlein, CBRE, no, not CBRE, bunch of good barrels out there. Starts with the B, you're pretty good. Mountain forged brake, and then obviously triple pull or a Dauntless. So that's my go-to, and I hope to see you guys soon. And obviously I'll see a lot of you guys out at ranges if you're over here in the Northwest. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this enlightens a little bit, and it's just a little bit of a peek into what I'm using, why I'm using it, and what I would like to use at some point. So we're slowly getting there, and we'll see you around. Thank you again. Have a good one.